Hello everyone, Tactical Glitch here and welcome back to another exciting best of 3 series. This time we have Bowmore on the green side versus SirGruut on the red side. Both are very experienced player. Bowmore has been active ever since Warhammer 2, though I think he went into a bit of a hiatus, but then Warpstone Cup dragged him out of hiding, while SirGruut has been active for a long time until now. And now today's series will be done a little bit differently because we're not doing all of the battles in one single video. Instead, they are kind of long, so I'll be splitting them into multiple videos over multiple days. Now for the army builds here, SirGruut going for a Bretonnian army, a bunch of peasant mob in the front line, second line of spearmen at arms, a couple peasant bow as the third line, while they're guarded by a ton of Knights of the Realm. In the skies, leading the army, Albrecht Bordeloo, guarded by a squad of Royal Hippogriff Knights and a single Damsel of Life with Flesh to Stone and Regrowth to support. There's also a single unit of Grail Knights in the forest, doing a bit of scouting, I believe, trying to discover any threats in the forest, in hiding, which, well, there are a couple of Kislev dervishes on the Kislev side. For the main formation, a front line of armored Cossacks, second line of Kislevite warriors mixed in with some Cossacks with spears. Wolfhearts in the middle as well, providing the net ability to control enemy cavalry movement, Mordheim Beowulfs to deny Bretonians from their healing, a third line of Kislevite warriors with a single Cossack and also an Ice Guard with glaives in the mix. Other than an elite missile unit being a hybrid infantry with a glaive, with their armor piercing and anti-large, they can handle themselves even when charged by enemy heavy cavalry. Leading the army, an Ice Witch of Tempest with a very effective Hailstorm spell, very good against blobbed up enemies including both infantry and cavalry. And then, beside her, a Patriarch with only Selex's Lullaby to support. That's it for the army builds. Now let's go into normal speed. As the Bretonnian army, Knights of the Realm and Grail Knights, these two cavalry units are scouting out the forest ahead, just trying to discover any hidden units in case there are any. So the Kislev dervishes will have to start avoiding enemy as soon as possible. Just try to get out of there before they get charged down by the enemy anti-large elites. We'll do a bit of fast forward there as both sides are cautiously positioning their formation. Over here, finally, the Grail Knights have discovered the Kislev dervishes being in lance formation gives them a little bit more charge speed and might actually be able to catch up the slightly faster Kislev dervishes with their charge acceleration. However, Bowmore very on top of his micro, splitting up his mobility into two directions, giving their opponent a hard choice to make, either send mobility after each of the running dervishes, but the problem is that the heavy cavalry are not going to catch up, and if they send both units to go after one unit of dervish, then the other will have a better chance of survival. Kislev is also rushing up into combat because they know that their infantry has the quality advantage over the Bretonnian front line. The peasants have no hope against the armored Cossacks, and the archers can pretty much do nothing against the armored Cossacks with their shields and their armor. So the armored Cossacks will have a significant advantage over the Bretonnian chaff. On the far side, the Bretonnian Knights of the Realm, who were originally pursuing the Kislev dervishes, decided to change their targets over to the unbraced spears. They are plowing straight through these spears, doing some significant damage, but the charge is also carrying them into the Kislevite warriors, and they're stuck in a bunch of anti-large armor piercing. And then the dervishes follow up as well, piling onto them, and they're now getting dragged down in melee. The Royal Hippogriff Knights, straying a little too close to enemy formation, being pinned down by the net from the Ashina ambushers, took a lot of damage from the archer fire, including the Ashina ambushers themselves and the Ice Guards. A Flesh to Stone was attempted to keep them healthy, but Ice Guards don't really care with their magic missiles. Trident from Albrecht Bordeloo is dropping down onto the Wolfhearts, taking out a quarter of their HP, while overall the front line of the Kislevites are holding just fine. Knights of the Realm are getting bombarded by the hailstorm. Half of the unit got deleted from the spellcast. Very brutal stuff there. Grail Knights also charging into the enemy backline, but they got stuck in the enemy polearm infantry and they're taking a ton of damage. Down to 1/3 of their HP, they are eating a regrowth, hoping to replenish some of those lost HP. Overall, the Bretonnian cavalry push is faltering pretty hard as the Knights of the Realm charging into enemy backline, but the backline is fighting back hard. All their charges got beaten back while the Kislevite missiles are still holding just fine. And on the far side, oh no, Royal Hippogriff Knights got stuck in the melee fight against Ice Guards. I assume SirGruut wanted to use the Hippogriff Knights to at least shut down the Ice Guards and disrupt their shooting. The decision makes sense, but unfortunately, Ice Guards being an elite anti-large infantry means that the Royal Hippogriff Knights have lost their Blessing of the Lady and down to 7 models. The peasant bows are also under pressure from the enemy infantry and mobility. Moorhen Beowulfs piling onto the peasant bows, who are also eating a bombardment from the hailstorm. Countercharge from the Knights of the Realm should be able to finish these Moorhen Beowulfs off, especially with Albrecht de Bordeloo in the fray, providing a bit of anti-large support. Spearmen at Arms are holding for now, but for how long can they hold, as they are really struggling against the armored Cossacks. At the back there, Knights of the Realm once again are routed away by the Kislevite warriors. They are still very, very much healthy, and this is going to be a big challenge for the Bretonnians in the late game. Their elite cavalry are all very tattered. Real Knights are back to roughly 2/3 of their HP, but then again, the Royal Hippogriff Knights are almost dead. At 7 unit models, and they have routed before, so they no longer have the Blessing of the Lady providing that damage resistance. They're much more fragile right now against any enemy damage. The Grail Knights, if anything, should be able to do some pretty good psycho charging damage overall, but every time they charge in, they're taking counter attacks from the Kislevite warriors, and don't forget about the Akshina ambushers. The Wolfhearts can always just pin them down with a net. But right now, they seems like they are not using the net and saving it for later, perhaps. Another bombardment from the hailstorm, and the peasant bows are getting eliminated, pushed back by armored Cossacks. All the peasant front line, all the spearmen at arms are in a mass exodus, as they are no match against the Kislev melee power. Royal Hippogriff Knights there, getting a regrowth upgraded version, trying to get back some health from all those Kislevite focused fire. This is a bit of a struggle for them, as they don't have shields, and with only 90 armor, it's not the best armor you can use against enemy missile spam. With the sheer volume of missiles available to Kislev, they're still taking some noticeable damage despite the healing. The Grail Knights are really trying to carry this on their back, charging into the regular Cossacks, and they might actually have to go after the Wolfhearts as soon as possible. Just try to get that net away from the Kislev army. But it seems that with the follow-up from the Kislevite warriors, the Grail Knights are quickly backing off. Now they're turning their eyes onto the Ice God with glaives. Albrecht has dived down and is disrupting some of these Ice Guard. Royal Hippogriff Knights also charging in, and the Grail Knights follow up a big pitched engagement from the Bretonnians here, trying to force the Ice Guard into a rout, but the Cossacks with spears and Kislevite warriors are all close by and can provide some solid support for the Ice Guard, and then the Ice Guard themselves fight back pretty well too. So the Kislevites took some damage, especially with the Royal Hippogriff Knights, and were forced to pull back. Now, for the Bretonnians overall, things are looking pretty grim for them. The peasant bows are getting pushed back, and there are only some tattered peasants all over the place, hoping to provide a little bit of infantry support, but it's not exactly enough to deal with all these Kislevite infantry. Let's see if the psycho charging can work their wonders here against the Kislevites. Another trident from Albrecht there, only doing some minor damage to the Ice Guard, unfortunately. Now the Grail Knights piling in, Royal Hippogriff Knights piling in, Spearmen at Arms are in the vicinity as well. The Ice Guards are wavering, but the Barblet effect is keeping them in the fight. Another bombardment, hailstorm onto the Bretonnian calf blob. But SirGruut has forced half the Grail Knights through the enemy infantry, so they managed to avoid most of the bombardment, though they still took some noticeable damage from the Kislevite warriors. This is not looking too good for the Bretonnians, but the Royal Hippogriff Knights are still psycho charging, really trying to go after the Ice God with glaives here. Another regrowth, just trying to keep the Royal Hippogriff Knights in the fight, but there are some point-blank armored Kossar pistol shots that are chipping away their health, and being a rather large model, they will be eating quite a bit of those shots, easier to hit after all, with their larger size. Kossars with spears also firing in, and the sheer volume of missile is really taking a toll on the Royal Hippogriff Knights. Grail Knight psycho charging continues, while Albrecht and the Life Damsel, even Life Damsel, is in melee combat right now, just trying to do what they can and shut down those Kislevite missiles. Grail Knights still charging, but they're now down to a quarter of their HP, and I doubt there's much healing left in the Damsel of Life. After all, she did use quite a bit of magic over the course of battle. Still some Spearmen at Arms on the far side returning, but they're a little bit too far to provide any aid to the Grail Knights and Royal Hippogriffs. Guards are still around with 18 models and less than 800 HP left. Wolfhearts are still firing as well, closely guarded by some Kislevite warriors, and the Bretonnian cavalry are either taking damage by getting shot or they are taking damage by charging in and getting poked by sticks. This is the dilemma that the Bretonnians are facing in this battle right now. If they charge in, they're just gonna take a ton of damage from the Kislevite warriors and ice glaives and whatnot, but if they don't charge, they're just gonna get shot to death by all those Kislev missiles. Outbreak charge again into the ice guards, but the ice guards refuse to back down. Royal Hippogriff Knights charges in alongside the Grail Knights. Oh, actually, it looks like the Royal Hippogriffs are going after the Armored Corsairs while Grail Knights are going after the Akshina ambushes. Unfortunately, though, the balance of heart is further into the favor of the Bretonnians. A healing attempt on to the Grail Knights, one final regrowth. But unfortunately, it's not going to save the Bretonnians at this point, and Bowmore with his Kislev army will be securing the first win. That was indeed a battle of meta factions, and it seems that one faction is more meta than the other one. Kislev here, with their polearm spams, was able to make the Bretonnian elite cavalry pay heavily every time they dare charge into the Kislev infantry formation. Even the missiles did some pretty solid work overall, and the dervishes mostly just there to pin down enemy mobility, not doing a whole lot in terms of value, but honestly, the polearm really carried everything here, while the Corsairs mostly there to dispatch enemy peasant infantry, and they have successfully been doing so the entire game. Peasant mobs and spearmen at arms were no match against the Kislev martial power. The Grail Knights did some pretty good damage as they were able to cycle charge with great effectiveness, plowing through Kislev infantry line, but the Royal Hippogriff Knights, they were just too easily stuck in a bunch of anti-large armor piercing infantry, and they just took way too much damage when surrounded and overwhelmed by sheer numbers. Alberic the Bordeloo did some okay work, but just not able to carry the game, and yeah, the Grail cavalry were basically the only thing holding the entire Bretonnian army apart, as the rest of the army just kind of fall apart to the Kislev infantry spam, pushing through all their defenses and shutting their army down. And yeah, that's it for this first battle. We'll be posting the second battle tomorrow, so keep an eye out on new uploads on my channel, and yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Tactical Lich signing out.